mooy Leewtoo bokk di programme bu bees war a daw fii ci GRTS ah waay jóg leen taxaw lii lu nar a neex la lii lu doy waar la lii nag bu ngeen bëggee xam li muy demee dee leen ñu topp rek waay ku bëgg a bokk ci programme bi wala nga bëgg a sponsor programme bi wala nga bëgg a dooleel programme bi xoolal ci 99 26577 99 6 115 78 24 388 63 19 505 359 7844 rek nga bokk ci programme bi di ngeen loo wax
yaa daan maa daan moo daan coow li bëri na xarale yu bees dekkil cosaan be waat nongo
Good evening from Banjul. You're watching the news on GRTS. In the headlines tonight, the Vice President returns from an FAO convergence marking the global eradication of the animal disease rinderpest. Teachers in the Upper River region receive various honors for their outstanding contributions towards the education of children in the Gambia. Angry protesters unleash mayhem on the streets of the Senegalese capital Dakar, the second time in as many days. Scores of Syrian dissidents in Damascus call on President Assad to surrender power as state-sponsored violence raged across the country. And Libyan officials reject the arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court accusing Colonel Gaddafi and his son for crimes against humanity. These stories and much more coming ahead in the news. I am Isa Chidabo. We thank you for joining us. The President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh, continues to receive birthday wishes from Gambians at home and abroad. The latest message comes from the Imam of the President Jammeh Mosque in Pirang, which says the Gambian leader's selflessness and unreserved commitment towards the improvement and advancement of Islam is clearly manifested by his thoughtful move to enable the people of Pirang perform their religious obligations in a more conducive building. Therefore, the message continues, the mosque committee and all worshippers in Pirang would work hand in glove with you and your government with a view to contributing towards uplifting the lives of the citizenry. May Allah grant you and your family long life, good health and happiness. His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya H.J. Jammeh, accompanied by a high-ranking delegation, will leave Banjul International Airport on Wednesday, 29 June 2011 at 12 in the afternoon for Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, to attend the 17th Ordinary Session of the African Union Heads of State and Government Summit. Those invited to see His Excellency the President off are requested to be at the airport at least half an hour before departure for the usual ceremonies. Member countries of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations recently gathered in Rome, Italy, to celebrate the global eradication of rinderpest. Francis Mendy accompanied the Gambian delegation headed by the Vice President, and he reports the animal disease is blamed for the decimation of cattle populations across the globe.
The Gambia, like many countries that were represented at the high-level event held to celebrate the global eradication of rinderpest, is heavily dependent on livestock for a variety of reasons. The subsector accounts for 8% of the country's gross domestic product and contributes between 10 to 15% to overall household income. The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Aysun Jai Sedi, who represented the President and Minister of Agriculture, told the Rome gathering that the Gambia considers the global eradication of rinderpest a success story and a very dear victory for international cooperation. Madam Jai Sedi dilated on the unrelenting efforts that led to the Gambia being declared provisionally free from rinderpest as early as 1988 as a result of years of successful and painstaking annual countrywide mass vaccination campaigns embarked upon by the National Veterinary Services with the support of government and the cooperation of regional and multilateral organizations.
This led finally to the evolution of the national herds population from 50,000 heads then in the 1930s to over 300,000 as I'm talking to you now in 2011. Similarly, serosurveillance exercises conducted under the Pan-African Rinderpest Control and Pan-African Program for the Control of Epizootics, or PACE, revealed no evidence of circulating rinderpest in the Gambia.
Madam Jai Sedi, however, warned that the post-Rindapest era does not call for the lowering of our guard and urged the international community to ensure that Rindapest does not resurface.
The government of the Gambia is fully committed to meeting its obligations in this regard. We would like to use this opportunity, however, to call on the FAO and other relevant partners to continue working together on global strategies in close collaboration with all countries and relevant institutions such as research laboratories and veterinary schools to help ensure the full implementation of the global strategies. This is and should surely be the only way, and indeed the only sustainable way for that matter, to keep the Rindapest virus away forever.
Rindapest has been defeated, but the Gambia is grappling with the emergence of transboundary animal diseases triggered by a myriad of factors. Madam Jai Sedi said the current approaches to animal disease prevention and control based on the disruption of disease transmission have been effective in both the short and long term with regard to diseases like Rindapest, but she however noted that these approaches have been less successful in some instances, as shown by the current persistence of H5N1, the highly pathogenic avian influenza, despite significant national and international efforts.
This, in our view, is because most current approaches apply strong veterinary science and medical disciplines in isolation from other related disciplines, of course, such as economics, sociology, communication, and land management, among others. Therefore, veterinary services now need to adopt an integrated approach, if they have not already done so in some countries, to control diseases better. And this means, of course, focusing on identification of diverse as well as drivers of diseases, flare-ups, and adopting, of course, a multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary approach to addressing the increasing disease threats.
Earlier, the Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization, Dr. Jacques Diouf, opined that the eradication of Rindapest, which has been around for 10 millennia, provides proof that the world can effectively combat hunger, malnutrition, and other food-related problems before moving to unveil the plaque dedicated to the global eradication of Rindapest. The presidents of Chad and Togo, Idriss Déby Itno and Faure Gnassingbé, respectively, also addressed delegates. Francis Mendy, GRTS.
You can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio live. The Fisheries Department, in collaboration with the Banafar Project, Monday convened a day's meeting as part of efforts to strengthen sanitary water quality for shell fisheries and shellfish aquaculture in the Gambia. The forum, which also attracted environmentalists and National Assembly members, comes under the auspices of a partnership between the Gambia and the state of Rhode Island in the United States of America. Louis Mende has more.
Been taken by the Fisheries Department and partners to restructure one of the Gambia's prime socio-economic sectors, which have for the past years been dogged by some major setbacks. This latest move saw the intervention of the Banafar Project, sponsored by the United States Agency for International Development. Their goal is to complement the effort of the government in sustainable fisheries management.
Banafar Project is funded by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, to support the government of the Gambia to meet its fisheries development and management objectives.
But what does the forum specifically intend to achieve?
The objective of this meeting is to